This is new. Brand new podcast with myself and Jack, also known as Walker Worms. We're going to be talking about a few different things today. We're going to be talking about, obviously, the game against Bournemouth, which happened last night. But we're also going to be talking about who's to blame, Tyreek George's debut, and also some Grealish news that's got us pretty excited. But Jack, firstly, who do you think is to blame for Everton's 2-1 capitulation against Bournemouth?
I can't wait to get some stick for this again. But I've said it from the start of the season, for people that have followed me from the very, very start. The fullbacks are the biggest problem here. And yet again, Mykolenko, not just defensively, which was just shambolic, but also offensively. People will say O'Brien because of the red card, right? But I really, really struggle to really throw him under the bus like that, because I think it's just purely, at this point, I think it's unfair on him. But Mykolenko, mate.
Because you look through the team, and obviously you have these apps that give players ratings, and Everton is such a weird one after that Bournemouth game, because when you lose a game, it's usually yellows and oranges. Everton is some sort of weird amalgamation of traffic lights, because you've got Jake O'Brien, obviously, he's in the red. Tyreek George is in the red. Tieno Barry's in the red. But then Mykolenko is in the green, and technically, according to these websites, one of our better players. But there were so many times during that game yesterday where he just let us down or didn't make the run at the right time, slowed us down. You see players hesitate to give him the ball. Tyreek George, there was a moment there where he got on the ball and you could see he wanted to play through to Mykolenko. Mykolenko kind of hesitated, didn't make the run. It went out for a goal kick. And I said to my mate, because I was at the game, and I was saying to my mate, that's Tyreek George being used to playing with good players.
Exactly.
And being made to look worse.
That is my exact point. Right, we're going to come on to Grealish later, right? I'm going to speak about Grealish and why I think it's an absolute no-brainer. But I think a lot of the fan base really didn't appreciate how good he was or what he actually did offer. I think people got mixed with he was this electric winger who would take on his fullback every time and beat his man every time and score 10 goals in a season. Jack Grealish has never, ever been that type of winger. Ever. Right? That's fact. He is a serial chance creator. He never loses the ball. He wins about 5 fouls minimum a game. He's so intelligent. And this is what I was trying to say to people. A lot of the fans didn't think he was that good. One, heavily disagree. Two, he has got Mykolenko behind him. And I can't fathom it anymore, bro. I can't do it anymore. It's nothing personal against Mykolenko. He is just not good enough.
That's it. I feel like it's it feels like it's been a problem for a long time now, and obviously, so you got Jake O'Brien on the other side, who of course got that red card, straight red. I thought at the time it was going to be a 3-match ban. Turns out it's a 1-match ban.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's confusing. I don't know what the rules are, because it's similar to the Supposlai one, but we'll see. But it's 1-match ban now, so that means we're obviously going to have Nathan Patterson coming back, who I don't think deserved to be out the team. Obviously, Moyes has his favourites, but that red card, the Jake O'Brien red card, if you go back and re-watch it, it's because Mykolenko dallies, Harrison Armstrong's on the ball, and he's like really busy and is making things happen, but he's just gets doubled up on, and this is a problem you see with Iliman Ndiaye. I saw Iliman Ndiaye getting some stick after the game, saying he's not been good enough after AFCON, he's not doing enough. Throughout the game, I saw 2 Bournemouth players on him every single time, and not only they were on him, he were tight as well, and he could have had 3 assists.
I said this in one of my previous videos. It's like, since Ndiaye's come back from AFCON, it is becoming so obvious, and it's becoming really concerning now. Teams know they can happily double up on Iliman Ndiaye and not worry about the attacking threat from the fullback. That's a big problem, really big problem, because they know for a fact every game they can happily take away that man away from the other fullback, not having to worry about him. They could just chuck him on Ndiaye, because that fullback, same with the left-hand side, will not get forward, will not support him, won't overlap him, and it becomes so predictable for Ndiaye. Ndiaye's not superhuman, he's not an alien, he's human. And you can't expect him for 90 minutes. By the way how he defends, by the way, is ridiculous. That's why he's going to go to an elite level. Like, his defensive contributions are just insane for a winger. But you can't expect him to take on 2 players every time he gets on the wing. It's not sustainable, and no shock, it's come crumbling down.
That's it. You can't expect one player to do everything, right?
No,
and
I can't.
He's a victim of his own success in a way, because he's done so well for so long, and he's putting together a phenomenal highlights package, and you can just see there's going to be an Olivia Dean highlights package of him once he leaves. But that's for another day, and obviously we're going to make a lot of money on that. But on the other side, we also had someone making his home debut, his full debut, Tyreek George. What do you think of him?
I really like him. I really, really like it. I can't lie. Like, do you know what? You know you said earlier that sequence of play of Mykolenko where he tried the little back heel flick and Mykolenko just did not overlap, didn't run in behind. When we were all watching that thing, go on Mykolenko, you can run into space there. It doesn't matter. But that's what I love. Like, people were saying, like, in my comments, that George was really bad, had a poor game. Like, he wasn't brilliant. He didn't have that output about him. But I loved his like attitude. I love what he tried to do, if that makes sense, especially for a 20-year-old. Like,
That's it.
Don't know what I don't know what you think about him, but I think if we can get him for the rumour is that it's going to be in our favour, the fee. If it's like 15, maybe even 20 million, that is a hands down yes. Yeah. I would.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to lose money on him.
Yeah, like, literally. Yeah,
you could see when he was on the ball. I saw something that I only really see in either Mananjai, where he takes 2 or 3 touches, and then you think he's going to release it, because a lot of Everton players, over the last 5 or 6 years, a lot of the forwards we've had treat the ball like it's some sort of bomb. Tyreek George. Tyreek George, actually, he loves the ball. You can tell he loves the ball. You can tell he's been the guy when he's played at youth level, international level for England and the 21s. He's obsessed with the ball. He will hold on to it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you have to platform him in such a way that gives him that out ball. Because once he takes those 3 extra touches, okay, that's fine. But in doing so, he's attracted about 3 or 4 opposition players. Yeah. You could see that Alex Scott and Todd, the Bournemouth new lad, were coming across to try and deal with him and putting him under pressure. And Tyreek George can deal with that if you give him an outball. And the outball just never comes, or comes too late and delays it. And then he's forced to try something that doesn't come off, like that little back heel. From where I was sat, it was grim, because I was like, I don't mind wingers trying stuff, because I don't want robots. I want players who express themselves. From where I was sat, the people, when like somebody's dad was quite angry about that, 'cause, like, it felt harsh, because it was a debut, and then the same guy was giving a lot of abuse to one person who faces a lot of the brunt when Everton do lose games. And you could see it kind of got to him when he got subbed off, Tieno Barry.
Oh, yeah.
That first miss, it's more difficult than it looks, right?
I also agree. I don't think the miss itself is that bad. I think it's the way how he attacked the ball. That's bad. That's what me thought, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Like, anyone who's ever played football before, that is not a tap-in. You've got to have a bit about you to still score that, especially as a Prem keeper. But at the same time, it's nowhere near good enough. It's the way how he reacted to that loose ball. That's what I was like, oh, God. Yeah. But I could speak about Barry for an hour, because I think he is a massive scapegoat here.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that tell me this and tell me that and say I don't know ball and say I do all this, I just, mate, fair play, the rage bait gets me. It does.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
Hey, I respect that you die on the hill. But I saw on Twitter today, or X, whatever people want to call it, that there's like a collage of Everton forwards in the last 6 years, and like the caption was like, "We've had it rough," right? And yes, we have. But like in that collage, you had Rondon, you had Maupay, you had like Moise Keane, who's come good now, but not with us. And then you had just all these like mid-level strikers, Cenk Tosun, another one, and then Barry was there, and I was like, you're painting this guy with the same brush you're painting players who are way worse than him.
Yeah, that's where you lose me. Because this guy has had one season in a top European league. One. And he's still got double digits, and he's still come to Everton playing in a system that doesn't suit him. We don't have overlapping fullbacks who cross balls into a 6'5" forward who won some of the most aerial duels in Europe, right? We play balls to his feet when he's 6'5". Yes, that part of his game needs work. I will happily admit that it definitely does for his size. Okay, I'm aware. However, what people need to realise, he is a young striker who's inexperienced, but that has the properties to succeed. He is an investment. He is not right now. He never has been. And I think Everton fans over the years have become so unbelievably impatient and warranted. We've had some horrible, horrible years for a long time, I think. But it's a new project. You have to be patient. Same with Tyler Dibling. I want to make another video strictly about him as well. Some of the stuff he gets. Oh my.
Yeah. So we could come to that because I think the subs in that game. We'll go to it now. The subs in that game was so weird. It's so weird. Obviously, we made the subs when we did, but it completely changes the whole platform of the team because of the profiles we're putting on. Betto, I get Barry is shattered. Like he gets tired quickly because he's been asked to do a lot. It was often like 5 or 6 seconds after he gets the ball until somebody comes and helps him out. So I get why he may need like resting or managing his minutes a lot because he's got a lot of load at minute when he's not really played a whole season in a league as physical as the Prem. But like Betto comes on, first thing he does, he gets booked. This guy doesn't help himself at all.
That's exactly my cause, mate. That's exactly my call. People say, "Oh, Barry ain't good enough." I saw the implosion on Twitter, saying, "Oh, Barry can't ever play for the club again. Play Betto." Oh, just respectfully, shut up. Because what did Betto do as soon as he come on? Does a really silly foul, gets booked, is hold up. Oh, it's excruciating,
It's worse,
and he doesn't offer more than what Barry does. So Barry therefore should start every game.
Yeah, and that's it. What's the alternative?
We haven't got one.
To magic up an alternative.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, I'm starting to get a bit angry here. People saying, "Oh, just whack and giant front." Oh, that's gonna work.
Yeah, that's insane. That's criminal. Because like, how are we going to pass him the ball? How is he going to? He's going to come off that back line to receive the ball, and the centre backs of the opposition team are going to have nobody to mark. And we're not the type of team that have runners in behind. Nobody does
exactly. Thank you. But he's going to have his back to goal, right? Not against any defender or fullback, which is his best trait. He is one of the best dribblers I've ever seen. He is ridiculous on the ball. But you want to put him in a side with his back to goal, with no overlapping fullbacks, no runners off him. The only really runner off him, I'd say, would be Dewsbury Hall. But every other team is going to know that. It's so predictable. It won't work. And I don't want to sound negative, but hold that.
So speaking about Dewsbury Hall, I thought he was, again, he's one of our better players, right? He almost, that shot that got blocked, that from when I was sat behind it, that was going in. Yeah, but then the midfield has been a point of contention. A few people asked this question on the Instagram of the pod, that the balance in midfield looks a bit sus. And I was saying this to my mate at the game. And I was saying that when Garner has the ball, Idrissa Gueye and him don't really have that telepathy. Just considering they've played together quite a bit now, well, a lot, they don't really get each other's games. Garner's got the ball at times, and Gueye's always stood behind a Bournemouth, the Bournemouth midfielder. So the passing lane to him isn't there. And you see it a lot that when they don't really work together, it's quite broken up, and the chemistry isn't really there. And come to the sub, like, we had Merlin Roll, we had Carlos Alcaraz, neither of which came on.
Well, so there's one thing I noticed again, and I don't know why this keeps happening. I think this kind of sums up your point well. The amount of times I saw Idrissa Gueye roaming into the number 10 and James Garner as the 6, something's terribly wrong there. Because when Dewsbury Hall's like gone out wide and he's found a little pocket, maybe next to Mikolenko like he did a lot in the second half, that should be James Garner filling in for him there, not Gueye. But I swear, tell me if I'm wrong, the amount of times I saw Gueye in the final third and not James Garner, I just don't understand it. And I also firmly believe, again, I said it a couple of months ago, Dewsbury Hall is not a number 10. He is not a number 10. He is a number 8. And you have to start him there, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think because of his qualities going forward, it's easy for Moyes to put him there. Yeah. Because Moyes clearly wants runners in that number 10 midfield, like number 10 spot. Because obviously he's had Harrison Armstrong there, who doesn't stop either. But obviously when we brought brought Grealish in, the hope was that he was going to play in that number 10 spot. But with the job the number 10's been asked to do is obviously out of possession, he's always been one of the players that starts that press. And I feel like that's killing us a bit in possession. Out of possession is quite disruptive, it's quite good. But in possession, I feel like if we had Dewsbury Hall a bit deeper, like we did against Man United, he looked so comfortable there because he's got the entire pitch. When he's at number 10, he gets less of the ball, and he's one of our best players on the ball, so it doesn't really add up. And Garner Gay keeps getting picked, and I feel like he's starting to let us down more and more.
I agree, and I think Dewsbury Hall is he's a very emotional player. The amount of times yesterday where he got the ball in the final third and he panicked and he rushed that final pass, and that is a perfect example of why I think he is a natural number 8 box-to-box, box-crashing midfielder, because when he is given that time to make that crucial pass for Everton in that number 10, a lot of the time it's not really up to scratch, because I just don't think he's that type of player. And I think in the number 8, because he's got so much energy there as well. Like, he works really, really hard. He really does. I think we're really missing an opportunity to play with James Garner, who has gone to a stupid level this year.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that our number 10 situation isn't great, but I would give Alcaraz a run of games. And I love Gay. I really do, but he's looked off it, hasn't he, really? Let's be honest here.
It's the switching off that kills me with Gay. Like, he's meant to be this defensive midfielder who has made that his game for years, but he's excellent at going and hunting for the ball. And there were times against Bournemouth where he did it really well, and he really stamps authority in midfield at times. But there's other times where we're playing in a low block and he's never looking behind him. He doesn't really check, and that might be a defensive problem with them not communicating to him, but it's also very much on him because it keeps happening to him and nobody else. So that's a problem where I struggle. If you're going to have a defensive player like Gay in the team, he has to defend. That's his job.
Yeah, it's not like he doesn't defend, right? He does win the ball back an awful lot. He covers a lot of ground as well.
Yeah, he does.
But the partnership I just don't think works. I think James Garner and Dewsbury Hall in this system, in this side, would suit Everton way, way more. And I just wish Grealish was still fit, because then we could really give him a chance in the number 10. I think that'd be unreal. I think. But
what about this then? What if we have Dewsbury Hall deeper with Garner and we stay Harrison Armstrong as a 10? Does that work?
I'm not a fan. I'm not sold on Armstrong as a 10.
Are you? Nah. Double 8?
An 8, yeah. 100%. I don't think he's... I think he could be a number 6. I think he could like dictate play quite well, because he loves getting on the ball, doesn't he? He always wants to get on the ball. But
busy, isn't he?
He's a very, very busy future captain, by the way. He is. I'm not even joking, bro. I'm saying it right now, man. I love that kid. He's unreal, bro.
When there's pictures of them coming through, like playing football in the park, and they're in Everton tops, that's for me. Like, okay, all in on you. You're not another Anthony Gordon. You're not going to let us down.
No. Yeah, we don't speak about him here.
No, only when it's to slate him. So,
correct.
One player who gets slated by our fans, and I know how you feel about this one, and also another player that didn't come off the bench yesterday, despite us needing an attacker, and instead we chose to put on Michael Keane up front, who's obviously a good striker, we know this, but he's not an attacker, is he? No. Is Tyler Dibling. Like, what's going on?
The amount of people that have already writ this kid off is mind-blowing. Like, I can't believe... Well, no, I can believe it, because it's Everton. It's very, very Everton. It's only because he costs, was it £42 million? Is it 42 million?
Yeah.
That is the only reason most fans, I think, have already made their mind up and they're questioning the signing. Lads, he's an investment. Okay? He's He's 19, right?
Yeah. He's young.
19 years old. He had one season in the Prem in a dross Southampton side. He's a very, very unique player. Very, very unique. He's a real top talent, but has he shown enough? No, he hasn't. That's his fault. and it's his responsibility to make that right. And I think he will. He will come good in Everton shot. I know he will.
What do you think about David Moyes? Obviously, openly criticising. Maybe Tyler Dibling is that player that needs that kick up the bum, but openly criticising him and then not playing him is counterproductive, I feel.
Yeah, doesn't help. It doesn't help in the slightest way. Some players respond to that criticism well. Like everyone is different. I thought we lived in a time now where people realise that.
Yeah,
he's a very shy kid. He's in a new city with not much family for a big amount of pressure.
Yeah,
and
what a many.
I don't blame Moyes for digging him out a little bit, but at least start him or at least like yesterday. How on earth he hadn't come on there? It's worrying, man. But it really is. It genuinely. I don't know what you think about the whole situation.
Yeah, do I feel like it feels like starting an argument with somebody online, say on Zoom, you start an argument with somebody, you say your piece and then you mute them. It's like that. Like, what are you going to do now? Nothing. And like, you just can't win. So I feel like he needs to be... I feel because we are in a safe position now, and this podcast is not going to be this negative every week. It's just how it worked out. But I feel like because we're safe now, and this is a reason to smile. That we can actually try things, right? We can not only plan for the future, we can also try things that may or may not work. It depends how much we want to go for Europe, and that's one of the points I've got here for this pod is what are the repercussions for this game, because it was a potential opportunity to go sixth. We could have gone above them for the third time this season, might I add, and I would have had to start dancing on TikTok again. But, silver lining. But what do we expect now? Like, what's the achievement here?
I mean, I want to say one thing when it comes to this Europe thing. Do you know how mental it is that we're talking about Europe?
Yes.
And people want David Moyes out.
Yeah.
We're cooked.
Shocking. Yeah, the expectations is nothing is quite good enough. Nothing is quite good enough. Like we've sat here and slated Everton for like 20 minutes, but it's not that bad. But we understand it. That loss in isolation is bad because obviously we did enough to win. We did more than enough to win. 2.94 XG versus 1.34 XG in itself is crazy because we just don't create chances. In that game we did. So that's why it's painful, I think, because we actually look quite good.
For once, we actually played quite well.
Yeah.
And we lost.
Yeah.
So,
but at what cost?
Take your pick, really. Do you play like that I want to lose, or do you have one shot all game and blag a 1-0 win?
Yeah, that's it.
If we're all being honest in this situation right now, in the position we've been in, right, fighting relegation, not having much hope for any season, really. You take the 1-0 scrappy wins. You take fighting for Europe. I can't believe we're talking about Europe.
Yeah, it's bonkers. We could have been sat in a brand new stadium worrying about having to sell the stadium. Like that's how it could have happened. Like Spurs in that situation.
Yeah, too right, mate. Like, and people want Moyes out. Are you mad?
Yeah, let's not take the piss here. Like, come on, man. Like, he gets every ounce out of every player, apart from Tyler Dibling, obviously, which we've just spoken about. But that's besides the point. He gets every ounce out of average players. He drags their flaws up, which is quite good. And obviously, West Ham, massive beneficiaries out of that. If we can scrape 7th, listen, like both of our childhoods, we've lived through Everton finishing 7th and getting nothing. Like the 7th place was Everton's spot. That's like how Crystal Palace always finished 12th. We always finished 7th growing up, and we got nothing. Now, if we finish 7th, we could be on for something really special, and we're 8th now. Like, it's not out of the realms of possibility. No, but we might look back on this and be like,
I want to point out that point you've just made. Look at the results we've dropped. Everyone can say this, right? Everyone can say, oh, yeah, but if we didn't lose every game we've lost, we would be top of the league. Yeah, I'm not saying that, right? There's a bit more context what I'm trying to say. Like, for example, the West Ham result was horror. I went to that game. They were in probably one of the worst positions I've seen a Prem side be in a long time.
Yeah, it's ugly. And
of course, we dropped points there. Of course, that is a massive game. We dropped points, right?
Yeah.
What's another one? There's been the Leeds game, Wolves, Brentford, which was also went to that game. Horror. But the possibility of Europe, it's not like a delusion. It's there. It really can happen, which is why I was so frustrated
Yeah.
that Everton didn't go in the market in January and get some fullbacks, or at least one fullback.
Yeah, like you hear this all the time. Like that, this is a classic thing for teams who are about, say, like 12th to 8th. Every Jan they have a decision to make. Go for it and try to close the gap and get there and cement yourself there, or realise your safety and then just look to plan for the future. So obviously Fulham in the window, they went for it a bit. They spent money. They got Oscar Bob in from Man City, which is nuts. Like how they getting
Unbelievable
that level of
signing, by the way.
It's nuts. And then for Everton, the words and the phrases getting thrown about was there was no market opportunity. But yesterday we saw a player that came from absolute obscurity in Brazil score what was a Haaland-like header at the back post, and we're being told there's no players available.
That is absolute load of bull. And obviously we don't know as fans, unless you work at the club, like, or whatever, what really happens behind the scenes. Like, it's all very complex. You don't know a lot of what happened. But I think if a perfect player, I said in one of my videos, and the opportunity was there. From what we know, and it wouldn't surprise me, Everton didn't go in for him, was Sacha Bowie. I can't believe that opportunity was there for him, with the conditions of the deal, his age, and what he's actually good at. We did not go in for him. I could not believe it. €2 million loan with an option to buy a €15 million for a player whose stocks were ridiculously high at Galatasaray. Is the reason he got the move to Bayern in the first place. And we didn't go in there. I find that hard to take. I really do.
He's on the precipice of a France call-up for the World Cup.
Exactly.
It's not like he's even obscure. On my channel, December 20th, I posted a video on every player Everton should be in for in Jan. He was on that list, so I can see it. There you go. Like we should be. There was opportunity. Let's not beat around the bush. Yeah. But the problem is now they've set up like this expectation where if we don't go and get a superstar right back or a right back who's really, really good in July, we're going to be asking the same question. Like, well, if we go and buy someone average in July, January, in June or July, it's going to look really bad.
I will tell you what. If the excuse is we left January for summer because we're going to invest big in this side, especially if ever to get Europe, we have no choice but to invest. Otherwise, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, it's such a bad look.
If we go into that window and we do not address that fullback problem, instantaneously, I'm going to lose my mind. Yeah. And it's going to be like deja vu again with Everton, with business-wise under Farah Bashiri. It's going to look very, very, very similar. Just
amateurish.
Amateur. And you see all these other Prem sides scouting these really top young players and signing these players. And if we can't follow that, then we're in trouble. I don't know what you think about the whole situation, but...
Do you know how bad it is, yeah? I miss Sidibe. That's how bad it is. I wish we had Sidibe now, man. Because like, he was just...
Praise the Lord.
He's a right back, and he could play right back. And it made sense to play him right back, so why are we playing centre back at right back? Like,
that might sound crazy, and it could be. It could be mental, but you're all right. Yeah, that's the worst part.
It's the worst thing. I wish I wasn't. I wish I wasn't right.
That bloke forgot. He went onto a football pitch without a sock on, and I'd still rather have him back.
He would walk into our team. It was like 36th right now. He would walk in.
People need to realise how bad this fullback problem is, because I don't think they really grasp how awful it is. And I've said it from the start. My opinion's never changed. The striker should have never been priority. It has always been the fullbacks, and I think it's very obvious now. I may have been right, to be honest.
Yeah. If a fish stinks, usually stinks from the head. It's never really that deep. It's like if you can see the problem, that usually is the problem.
Yeah.
So, speaking about the summer now and what surgery is required on this Everton team, one player who has been like kind of tenuously linked, obviously, with a return, what would be a return, is Jack Grealish. What price would you be willing? Top end. How much do you pay?
Ooh. Top end, 50 million? No, I'm joking.
I was going to say, you mad?
I'm not that thick. But
hey, not your money.
Well, true. I do love the bloke that much. I would probably pay more. But realistically, business standpoint, I think. Wow, what are the wages? What are they going to be? Because they're not going to be as much as Man City, are they?
No.
But they're still going to be a lot.
Yeah.
So
how much do you like the stadium? We can pay you in a nice stadium.
Yeah, I would maximum I'd pay for him. Oh, it's going to have to be 20 million. I can't see Everton spending any more than that.
That feels reasonable. That feels like guaranteed. Spread that over 2 seasons. It's like with amortization. That's not a lot, because like if it's 4-year contract, it's actually only 5 mil a year. So like it doesn't actually mean you're gonna that's 20 million taken off your transfer budget. It does mean though that the prices of the blue donuts are gonna go up. It was sold out yesterday. I was fuming.
Wow. Yeah, they're going to have to stock up probably doubly the amount if we sign him, because his wages are going to be hideous. But I would welcome him back with open arms. I've said it at the start of the podcast. I think he is criminally underrated, and I think Everton fans misprofile him. To be honest, I think you've already seen he's already heavily missed on the left side, and I love him. I really do. Yes, he can offer more. I agree. I think he could offer more in Everton shirt. I'm not saying that's not. I'm not saying he's perfect. Of course he isn't. But I think what he does offer Everton is completely unique and worth it.
I totally agree. Like, look how many people wanted James Rodriguez back 3 years later. Like, it's a similar principle. I think Grealish actually inadvertently is a bit of a victim from James Rodriguez's time at Everton, because obviously superstar marquee player comes in, and James, he had that factor where he's able to drag you.
That wow factor about him. Yeah.
The shooting, like the little slipped through balls, is a different type of quality. Like Jack Grealish, when he was playing for Man City, when in that treble winning side, it's not unfair to say he was world class. He was in the best team in the world, one of the only teams that's achieved a treble since 1999 with Man United, if it's speaking about English teams. So it's fair to say Grealish is world class, but he's world class in a different way. He was world class in a different way to James. Where James was like at Colombia in the World Cup doing things like catch people's eyes, and it looks better. But one goal is one goal, no matter how much, how it looks, it's still worth the same. And I think Grealish, because he's a bit safer, isn't he? He's not gonna get that plaudit in the same way that James Rodriguez would get. And I think that's something that's sticking with some of our fans' minds. Certainly stuck with me, because when I saw James Rodriguez come in through the door, I had pants down, man. It was,
restrict the language, but I was erect. I was. And
man. He's good looking, man.
He was absolutely unreal when he was fit. I think he is the most, from the time I've watched Everton, I think he is the most techie player I've ever seen, James Rodriguez. And your mental, people's ball knowledge really is rubbish, because other fans thought he was a flop.
Yeah, that was insane. That was insane.
Come on.
He might be. I'm good. I never got to see him in the flesh, because obviously I lived in Liverpool that season. Yeah, nobody got to see him. I think if I did, I could safely say he was the best player I've seen in Everton's shirt. They're very fleeting, obviously, so it's people don't like you saying that. But I think that superstar power that Everton have got every now and again to bring in these names does platform as well to bring back Jack Grealish. And I think having Grealish permanently it helps us get deals over the line for others as well. Because if we can bring in Jack Grealish, somebody who's playing in the mid-table team of the Prem, can't really look away and turn their noses up at Everton. I feel like it shows how big we are.
I just want to point. I want to make you really upset here. Sorry, I might make you really upset here.
All right,
could you imagine James Rodriguez in the 10 with Dewsball and Garner behind him now?
Mate, he's still playing. Get him in. What are you doing?
That would be hideous. Oh my god, that energy behind him, and just give him the ball in the final third and just let him just dictate everything.
Bring Charlison back in. Okay, so with Jack Grealish returning in theory, where do you think that leaves Tyreek George?
It doesn't affect him in any way. He's 20.
There we go. Because I think Tyreek George, obviously, he's played in a multitude of positions. Like Lee Carsley said, he was a striker. Lee Carsley is his England under-21 manager. I think against Bournemouth, he did look a bit lightweight at times. He's one of the shortest 6'1" people I've ever seen. He's 6'1". He looks tiny. I don't know what it is. And you see Ryan for Bournemouth. He's also 6'1". In what universe are they the same height?
He's a monster, he is. But
yeah, he's one of those people just develop. Like Haaland. They're just given a man's body when they're 8. I think Tyreek George needs to fill out a bit. If he is going to play through the middle, I think he could. Not in our system now. Maybe there's different type of playing, different manager. Maybe he could. But I think he can play on the right. Oh, well, he absolutely can play on the right. He played there for England. So I think maybe that gives us a bit more. And obviously, if we do, I think regardless of Europe or not, we need bodies.
I 100% agree, and I would rather focus on buying young, exciting prospects rather than buying the 29-year-old on high wages. That is what put us in a relegation battle to start with. Everton need to have a different approach. We need to do business differently. The sole reason we were in a relegation fight is because our business was so bad, it put us in a position where we couldn't spend.
Yeah.
And then the latter players that might have done well for us, like, for example, the Andre Gomez's, etc., when they wither away on high wages and you don't have that quality anymore, you find yourself in a really, really tough spot. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick to death of it. I want to see young, exciting players who want to get on the ball, who want to impress the manager. That's why I love the signing of Tyler Dibling. He will come good. Yeah, hands down, guaranteed he will. Yeah. And I love the George, especially for the price by the way for George. Like like you said earlier, that is, if we somehow lost money on him, someone needs sacking there.
Yeah, he's not going to go down in value. It's impossible.
So what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think we should be going down a completely different route, like kind of like what we're doing now, or do you think we need experience through the door?
Good question. I feel like there's a middle ground here, because obviously we've been burnt before by signing these 28-year-olds on big contracts that ultimately the best way they can give back to the club financially is by getting us up the league, and then we reap the rewards of that and getting into Europe. Like Tottenham have got, I think, 80 million from being in the Champions League this season. If you get that money, then the players pay for themselves. But if those players end up underperforming, or there's so many different variables that means that they can't perform, such as manager changes or whatever, that ultimately they're poor assets to hold. So I feel like if we've got these young players coming in, that's a good thing. However, what I do think it means is that because we've got these young players coming in that will all have resale value, so you've got like 6 players who've got good resale value, I think it then lets you bring in 1 or 2 older players just to counterbalance it, that you kind of resigned on losing money on, like a Grealish, for example. If we bring in Grealish, we're never making money back on him unless it's like a move to MLS or Saudi. And I feel like another player who I'm interested to know how you feel on this one. He was linked in January. Another player that is in that kind of bracket that's like slightly older but is ready to come in now is Harry Wilson. What do you think of that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I know you have you might love him a bit too much, really.
I think I fancy him.
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. That is the most Everton signing ever. And yes, calm down. Just calm down.
Chair.
Yeah, he's had a ridiculous season, right? And he is so techie. For the people. He hasn't just randomly spawned in as a techie baller. He's always been really techie. His technique has always been top tier. He's always scored some wonder goals here and there. Was it a derby? He played it as well.
Yeah, he scored a free kick against Man United.
Yeah,
derby.
And I know obviously he's Welsh. You love him.
Yeah, he's so good for us.
But the
underlying stats and how it's a one season, it reeks of a one season wonder.
Oh,
It does. To me,
I think he's being harsh there, man. Because like Marco Silva last season apologised for not playing Harry Wilson because of how good he is. Like, I get it, he's not playing him, but for Wales, like he plays as a centre mid, he plays as a 10, he plays as a striker, he plays as a right winger, and he's just class. Like he may not get the numbers.
Actually, I've just realised he's a free, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a free.
Oh, I take that back. Yes, I take that back. Sorry, I forgot.
This is what I'm saying. We can, because I was on the Fulham podcast, Fulham Focus, last week, and I actually predicted that we'd score in the 75th minute, and it would be Disbury Hall against them.
That was sensational, by the way, I have to say.
I tweeted them, they didn't reply. And anyway, and they were saying to me, "You're never going to give Harry Wilson 150 grand a week." And I was like, "Oh, we would." Are you familiar with who you're dealing with?
You don't know who we are, buddy.
Nah. You go back to your corner. But I think we do it. I think for free, it doesn't. If you spend 20 million and give somebody 70 grand a week, it's more. So
yeah, if it's free, I will concede that I thought he had 1 year left. So we'd have to pay a fee, but it's not, is it? It expires next summer. Yeah. On a free, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, 28 years old.
But another point I want to bring up, by the way, about the whole Grealish thing, right? I know I just said right now, it sounds really contradictory, and it's not. When I say, Everton going and getting these 28-year-olds, 29-year-olds, paying them a lot of money, we need to steer away from that. Jack Grealish is an exception for one reason and one reason only. No, well, actually, there's multiple reasons, but the main reason is he is not just a player that just suits one type of system, one type of squad. He's a very, very, very good footballer, and you put him in any system, team, manager, he is going to do a job for you. He's going to create chances. He's going to sell a lot of shirts because he's very, very, very popular.
Yeah.
He's a very likeable guy, and what he offers is unique. There aren't many players like him, especially as a winger. That alone, there are exceptions to that argument. Like I said, there's a middle ground there. He is one of them, Grealish. But I don't know if you agree with me there. I don't know if you think I'm kind of just trying to fit him in no matter what and trying to rib him.
Hey, there's a lot of people that would like to do that. This is we're getting into some murky waters with these good-looking footballers. It's bad. Yeah. Anyway, do have a girlfriend, and so basically, what I think the thing with Grealish is like you'll see the true Grealish when we get a left back. I think
spot on. Yeah.
I think you can't criticize a left winger when there's no left back because like we've grown up on Stephen Pienaar and Leighton Baines. Like they can't exist in isolation. They need each other. It's a symbiotic relationship. They're better together. They profit off each other. Like that's not the case right now.
That I firmly agree. Right. Every Everton fan, well, we're not Scouse, but so point, nice Scouse accent. Hold that. I don't care if we're not Scouse, mate. I know Everton. We know Everton, right? Think of all over the whole course of maybe even the David Moyes era. Look at our fullbacks in every side.
Yeah.
Look at the combination of Coleman and Baines. Baines, one of the most underrated fullbacks ever, by the way.
Yeah.
But we don't consistently finish in European slots, etc., without fullbacks like that. Because, as you just said, the likes of even Kevin Morelas, Deulofeu. God, who else have we had over the years? There's been bloody loads.
Yeah, we had so many. It's just always that wide. That's where our threat comes from.
Yeah,
even when we had like Tom Cleverley, he was afforded the ability to play right mid because of Coleman.
Everton are a team. This is the exact reason why teams hated coming to Goodison Park, because we had a high press, high intensity, and we got bodies up the pitch and balls into the box and made it a nightmare for teams to deal with. You see any video online of any other team, they all said they loved the stadium, but they hated playing there. And there's a reason for that. Look at our team now in comparison to that. You can't play like that now, which is why Barry, yes, I'm defending him again because I'm going to defend my players when I'm sorry. It's unjust. Some of the stuff he gets online, some of the abuse he gets because he's playing in a system that just simply doesn't suit him.
Yeah.
And we need to address the other issues first before really looking at the striker to see if that really is a problem at Everton. Because in my opinion, we really don't know that. I don't know if you agree with me on that. Or do you think I'm, again, rimming him? I don't know.
I feel like we've had worse strikers that have been better because of everyone else.
Firmly agree.
Yeah, like I loved Nikita Jelavic, but he was exceptionally limited. He is good at finishing. That's it. No other good aspects of his game, but we just allowed him to be good at what he was good at. It's insane to me that it's so hard for people to comprehend. If you're asking someone to do something they're bad at, it's going to take time for them to get better at it, especially when they're young. So if we had fullbacks that create space for the wingers, for the 10, it would just open up different spaces for Tierney Barry to get a chance and score some goals. And funnily enough, you say to bring up Tierney Barry there. I'm going to move on to some questions we had on Instagram. Nice Scouse accent, by the way. That's the Instagram. Same on TikTok, same on everything.
Follow if you got a big willy.
It has to be really big, though. The first question is from Carl Thomas 7. I don't know if he wanted to remain anonymous, but he's not anymore.
Hold that.
It's a good question. Do we go back to giving Betto a run now? And would you ever trial Michael Keane up top? I prefer Michael Keane, I think.
I mean, right.
Give the people what they want to see.
Lads, let's have a sit down here. Let's have a little talk. Let's have a little chat. This Michael Keane up top nonsense has got to stop. Okay?
Genuinely good there.
But he's a real striker of football. I will warrant that. And he's great in the air, right?
Yeah.
But, all right.
There we go.
You're in transition. You're on the break. Give him the ball, see what he does. It's going to be an excruciating watch. Like, come on.
I can't look past the way he runs. It's so strange. His arms are like up here all the time, and he kind of claws his way through. It's like he's running through snow.
I love it. Yeah, it is extremely bizarre, but maybe that's why he's so good at kicking a football, because his technique is so weird.
It's so weird. I've never seen somebody that good at something they shouldn't be good at.
I agree. Anyway, back to the point. Right. Betto having a run of games? No.
That's it.
Move on. Your point?
That's it. Yeah, I can't disagree. I wanted Betto to be good. Betto this very time last year, he was sick. But otherwise, I can't really see, because he's just limited, isn't he? He's limited in a bad way. Like, he can't do much that Barry can.
Perfect example was yesterday. Barry had a bad game. Game. He had his head in his hands. Like, he was distraught. I think he kind of knew that he was going to get it, right? Yeah. And that happens. But you bring him off in the 60th, and what did Betto do in that period? He was worse, mate. Yeah, that's my entire point of this whole argument with Barry. That's my whole point. You do not drop him for him, because I don't know how to say this in simple terms. Barry is a better footballer than Betto, so you play Barry. Football. You shouldn't complicate football like that.
And that's exactly it. I think it's just pretty cut and dry, you can't. It's not. So the Fulham lads last week were speaking to me about Raul Jimenez and Rodrigo Muniz, and they were like, "Oh, whichever striker we didn't play was the better one." And like, for us, I don't think, for people outside looking in, maybe they think that, and I feel like a lot of fans from other teams think that Barry's worse than he is. He's not. He's absolutely not. If you watch him, you appreciate. In the first 5 minutes of that game against Bournemouth, he chested down to Kindersby Hall, first time, and like, Beto's not doing that. He's got a trampoline chest. Like, it's just bouncing off him.
That's exactly my point, mate. And it's kind of like with Barry's game, it is we have bought what we paid for. Yeah. We bought a young striker who needs time to develop. Like, he wins an awful lot of aerial duels, but it's how he distributes the aerial duels that need work. That will come with time. Okay. People are losing their mind yesterday on Twitter and on TikTok and whatever, saying, "Oh, he doesn't get any service and he's missed that." Well, before that, I could throw the argument back to you. Before that, he had 5 shots. He had 10 shots, scored 5 goals.
Yeah, exactly.
50% conversion rate. You can flip it at any argument you want, mate. It's not gonna. Strikers have bad games. Haaland has missed some absolute sitters this season, by the way.
He's not scored a non-penalty goal this year.
Thank you very much. I firmly. I don't think there are times in the games where Barry is not good enough and he needs to do better. Yeah. It will come with time. Yeah. But there is no need to have him as a scapegoat. I
That's it.
just don't believe it's fair, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally agree. And this next question from Duncan Graham 20, I feel like I may know your answer already, given by what you just said, but maybe not. Who's your favourite Everton player this season?
Ooh.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Oh,
Ask me
that's
this
really, really tough.
Ask me that. You have time to think, and I'll rattle through some names.
It isn't Barry. I love Barry, but it's definitely not
He's
him.
your best mate.
He is, yeah. We all could be, yeah. No. My favourite player this season. Oh, it's really, really tough because
I'm gonna. That's it.
I'm gonna go Dewsbury Hall.
Dewsbury Hall. Yes, I thought you would. Honestly, personally, in an ideal world, I would be saying Adam Asnu right now. I would be. I love that kid. He's so positive. He's so refreshing. And I could speak about that 20-minute cameo against Sunderland for more than 20 minutes. That's how.
I really like him as well, and I think that's also unjust. Ariane had a single minute since. I find it disrespectful, really.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Exactly it. And he's right to kick off. But favourite Everton player?
Yeah, what's yours?
I can tell you who's not. Do you know what? In another ideal world, he's been fit. I'd say Branthwaite, because he's been.
I love him.
Since he came back, he's just so good, man. He's so proactive. He won the penalty from reading the game. If he wasn't 6'5" or 6'6", he would be a centre mid. He's that type of player.
I agree.
But I think my favourite player this season has been James Garner, because I've got tweets. I've got tweets that go back 2 years saying this guy was good, and I was getting hammered for it. This is before I made any Everton stuff, and maybe I would have gotten a lot more stick for it if I did make Everton stuff back then. But you could see it.
Well, I made a video before the season started, and I was worried that James Garner wouldn't go to the level he needed to go to. I think Everton gave him a couple of years to develop, and from the season before, I don't think he did enough, and I was worried that this would be, because obviously he was trying to get out of a contract, wasn't he? Yeah. I thought he'd go. I thought we'd take our losses, but I am so happy I am miserably wrong, because he has gone to a ridiculous level. He has.
Do you know what the thing is? He's such he must really not like playing right back, because since playing at right back, he's gone, right, that's enough. I'm gonna have to start putting in some 8 out of 10 performances as centre mid every single week now, because I ain't going back there. Yesterday I had to, obviously, but that was circumstantial. But yeah, you can tell why there was Man United fans asking the question of could they have him back. They thought they had a buyback clause on him. They didn't. So thank God they didn't, because I could see him making that move. But obviously he signed that deal. Yeah. And if we go to Europe, he's the type of player that was going to be so crucial. He's so
important. Yeah. I firmly agree. So let's switch that. Let's have another one in the mix. Who's been your least favourite Everton player this year?
Oh,
season.
All right. Okay. There's a lot, man. So I feel like
don't be that bad.
But the ones who I don't like, I really don't like, and I don't like digging them out. Yeah. So I feel like it's different. It's horses for courses a bit, because obviously Jacob Bryant at centre back, I love him. He's really good. Him and Branthwaite are the future if they stay. But at right back, I massively struggle with him. However, there's always that caveat that he's not a right back. People tell me all the time he's rubbish at right back. Yeah, well, no wonder if he's a centre back. He's massive. He's not built for it.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's harsh to say him. I feel like he's quite good. He's had moments against Crystal Palace. He was exceptional. Against Villa, he was exceptional. And so I feel like, do you know what? This is gonna sound possibly harsh because he was good against Man United, but I think it has to be Mikalenko, just because he's suffering from what we need. If he played for Burnley, he'd be getting called solid, and that's fine.
Yep,
but we need a bit more.
Wow.
Bash Mikalenko for an hour.
Well, he had a good season last season, didn't he? And why was that? It's because he was in a low block system with no competent wingers and he didn't have to go forward and expose himself. And this season with Grealish and Njai on both wings, where we have competent wingers and we need our fullbacks to help those wingers and try and pin teams back at home, he has exposed himself big time. It's not personal with Mykolenko. He is just not good enough.
Yeah, if only we bought a left back who was attacking
and
that dynamic.
I'm certain he's a lovely bloke.
Yeah,
he's probably lovely.
Yeah, I wish he is. I wish him the best.
If he does leave Everton, I truly wish him all the best. I really do.
Yeah. I always keep an eye when it's international break. Kind of look out for the players you've got on international duty, and Mykolenko is one of the first I look for because he's one of Ukraine's stars. He's exceptional for them, but obviously different type of game, and obviously for Everton, doesn't really
whenever I have a head loss of a player, it's never personal. If they're on international duty, I keep an eye on their international duty, and I hope they do well for their country. I hope, like with Senegal, I wanted them. Deep down, needed them back, but I wanted them to win it.
Prayed on that downfall.
I wanted them to win it though. I want our players to do well. It's not a personal thing. It is just the way how people defend Mykolenko at times. I just can't get behind it anymore. I just can't do it.
No,
I don't know.
Agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you agree, I think you do. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. There's with a lot of our players, there's saving graces, like O'Brien. He's not this, but he is this. Mykolenko he's nothing. I don't really see where else he can play apart from left back because he's a left back, and I think as well there may be some subconscious bitterness there because he was obviously Luca Dean's replacement.
Yeah.
I miss him, man.
That isn't fair. If you hold him to that standard,
to follow.
Yeah, if you hold him to that standard, that isn't fair.
No.
That is just our incompetent board to show how bad they were. I still can't fathom.
It's a Rafa problem, that man.
Oh my god, I still can't fathom those days. But
that
that isn't fair to criticise him because of that. But it is what it is. He is not what Everton need now, and it's glaringly obvious, in my opinion. Well, him and the right back are the biggest problem by a country mile.
Yeah, it's one of them where you were what we needed for this period of time. For the last 3 years, you have been what we needed, but now you're not, so it's no hard feelings. We're going to move on.
Yep.
You'll find another Prem club who are willing to pay 15 million for, you go to Serie A, you'll do all right, you'll be fine. But for us, it's just one of them where it has to be like a mutual decision to go in a different direction. Whether we do that or not, I don't think we will, because obviously he's got that contract. But as a backup, I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but there's push it as new down the pecking order.
That's actually a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Again, it's not personal to him. If we had another option there, I wouldn't remotely mind him as a backup or a second choice.
Yeah.
The thing that really grinds my gears is because he can have a stinker week in, week out, and he knows for a fact he could go home, he can have a kebab, come back to training, and he'd play next week. That's what does my head in, and I can't back that. That's what Everton had. They had to target fullbacks, and we didn't. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole there, so I'm going to swiftly move on.
Okay, let's move on to the future then, because ZenDT000 asks, what do you think the next 5 years will be like for Everton? This is a deep one, because let's line out some factors. So, obviously, David Moyes signed a contract 2.5 years, wasn't it? This time last year. In a year, well, maybe in about 6 months' time, we're going to have a decision to make, because I think the idea for Moyes coming in was to solidify us, get us into somewhere where we don't have to look over our shoulders, and instead we're looking up the league this time of year. And that's what he's done. But there's a tendency that seems to follow David Moyes around, especially at West Ham, where people kind of start counting their chickens early and start looking at feeling there's a superiority to what David Moyes can offer. Is that going to happen with us? Do you think that we're going to start looking at these new managers? And that somebody else, actually, I'll shout him out, Chris Ellis asked, tongue-in-cheek, Frank in, as in Thomas Frank in. The Frank engine himself.
No.
What do you think about that? Do you think Moyes has got how much time do you think Moyes has got left? Obviously, we don't want him out on this podcast with Moyes friends, but
I honestly believe, I reckon we could have Moyes I reckon comfortably for another 2 to 3 years, I reckon.
Yeah.
And there's one very specific reason why. For me, obviously, he had his connections at Everton before. He spent a long time here and he's come back. But it's different this time. He's come back to a different Everton, a different era. And I think he won't want to end this journey with Everton now because it's a significant part in our history now. This will be a staple point in our history, hopefully for the better. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Will he want to leave next year with this project? No way. I can't. I know he's getting on now. I know
you never get a better job.
He will never get a better job than this now, ever. And I think he'll want to be a part of that. I don't know. What do you think? Do you want Everton to go down the young manager role, the Iriolas, all this, or would you rather stick with David Moyes? I would rather stick with Moyes, personally.
Okay, this is where we disagree. See, I think, like you mentioned him there, Iriola, right? He had Man United stocks. He had Man United level stocks. They didn't buy the stocks. He's dipped a bit. Look at the table. They've got the same amount of points as us. Worse goal difference by 1.
Lost some very key players as well. Yeah.
They lost some very key players. That first half, we saw just how key those players were because they were trying to play it into midfield. It was so sloppy. We were latching onto everything. Iriola's tactics are conducive to the aggressive nature, physical nature of the Premier League. I think that goes without saying. Do we have... How much surgery would we need to bring somebody like that in? I think it's a lot. And I think a halfway house between that, who has incredibly low stocks now, is Thomas Frank. I honestly could see... He's not going to come to us. He's 100% going Palace. But I could see him being an Everton manager. I could actually see it. Obviously, I don't want David Moyes to leave because I think it'll be very sad when he does because it'll feel like this is goodbye for real. Last time, kind of like he got poached, didn't he? He's never getting poached. Nobody's offering him a better job. So I feel like it'll be a very sad day if we have to be the ones to boot him. So obviously, I'd keep him. I'd keep David Moyes absolutely and unequivocally want him to stay. But there is that question mark of, do we get bored? I can't get away from that.
Yes, I think we will, especially with David Moyes. I think that is guaranteed to happen. We're gonna get bored
if we keep buying these attackers and exciting players, and we keep playing limited football.
Wow, that is a good point. It might get to. This is where we differ. You're being extremely optimistic. I'm not. I feel like I'm being real here. Like, are Everton gonna go out and invest in this God squad? I just can't see it. If that happens, fair enough. I will concede.
Be a lot of videos on my channel.
I might.
Eating good that man. Yeah, I'll be on your TikTok every single day. Go follow that link in the description. But we have to think about the future, right? And obviously, what I think that David Moyes is, and the new owners have. Like, the new owners wanted somebody safe, right? They didn't want their first appointment to be a risky one because obviously it reflects bad on them. And if they get 1 or 2 solid appointments in place and they make long-term strategies, they can kind of look competent. And obviously we had incompetence before that. I feel like if they keep buying these attackers and investing into a squad that's really good, and we get to that point where we've got all these assets and moving parts, the only thing, and it's not being achieved, this aesthetic attacking football, I think the only thing that stands in that way is David Moyes, and the board will then look at it and go, this is the only thing that's left to change. So I feel like maybe we'll do it. Don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, though. I think you're right.
Well, yeah, like this is speaking in terms of that's the dream, isn't it? That's the dream, is to get an exciting manager who wants to play this attacking football that we all want to see. We've wanted to see for years now. We've waited a very patient fan base. We've been waiting a long time to see that.
12 years.
That's the dream, right? But I just don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I would rather...
Yeah.
I honestly think if we can get conference, I think we'll win it.
Oh, God, yeah. I think that's something that's the best way of getting that off our backs, is to get into the conference. I think I'd take conference over Europa. Is that nuts?
I get what you mean. I low-key would rather be in conference because I think it's actually winnable with the squad. However, I would obviously rather be in the Europa League. Just the European nights are just better, aren't they?
Just win that as well.
Yeah, fuck it, we should go win that as well. Frick it, sorry.
Do we think we'll win the trophy in 5 years?
Oh, God, don't ask me that. Oh, God.
We ask the hard-hitting questions on this pod. Obviously, for those watching at home, we've never seen us win anything.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. It's time to change the optimism as fans. It's time to be more positive.
What we're winning,
win.
the Prem? Let's not take the piss.
Honestly, I'm going to go with a European trophy. I actually reckon the Conference League is doable. Maybe not next year.
Yeah.
But I think it's achievable. I think once we get in that competition with Moyes, I think we'll go win it. Okay. That's my prediction, I reckon.
People at home watching this, clip this up.
Yeah,
Come back in 2 years. Yeah, I think honestly we could do it. I think Europa Conference League is so poor. I've been watching Palace's games, and I've watched West Ham when they won it. You don't play anyone until the semi-final. You just don't. And then that's like Fiorentina. Like West Ham beat Fiorentina, I'm pretty sure. Fiorentina right now are 18th in the Serie A. Like, they're nothing special. Like, so it's so... There's such an easy way to get a trophy under your belt. But anyway, that's just looking way down the line.
Yeah.
I feel like we've got some questions about the lineups for the Man United game, but we'll come back to that next week, and we'll do a proper preview for that game. But to end the pod, Jack, who was to blame? Final decision, one-word answer for the Bournemouth defeat. One person. Is it the weather?
It's Mikalenko, bro.
Mikalenko. There we go.
I don't know. Everyone. Leave me alone.
There we go. Like, subscribe, follow us. Everything is in the description. Everything you need to find. Instagram, TikTok, Jack's TikTok, my TikTok. Everything will be there. Come back next week.
You have to follow us, all right?
You have to. We come to your house with us.
Yeah.